I believe retirees ought to pay off their mortgages when they're heading into retirement. It's a controversial topic because interest rates are very low, and if you ask most real estate professionals or financial advisors or accountants, 90% of them will probably tell you to keep the mortgage because interest rates are low. I see it a little bit different. Let's pretend a couple comes into our office and they've got a mortgage of about $200,000. Almost immediately, when people have mortgages, they like to tell me how low their interest rate. They'll say, I'm paying 4% per year and or 3.5% per year, and they're honed in on the cost of that debt. That money is costing me 4% to borrow. So they start to say, well, I can take my $200,000 and earn a 6 or a 7% rate of return, and I'm beating the banks. And what I would argue, if you had an infinite lifespan, meaning you were a bank, you can play the money changing game, meaning you can lend people money and charge them 5% per year and give people who give you money 1 or 2% in interest and make a 2-3% spread, and your only worry in life would be building ugly banks on busy street corners. The retirees we work with do not have infinite amounts of time on this earth. They've actually got a very short amount of time on this earth. And what I believe is you should focus all of your financial energy and power at decreasing your monthly outflows and increasing your monthly inflows, creating a cash flow so you can live a life of abundance in retirement. So when we look at a mortgage, what we want to calculate is what the yield is. So let's say this very same couple, this $200,000 mortgage, after all of the taxes and insurance and escrow, is costing them $1,300 a month. Well, when we do the math on a $1,300 a month mortgage, that's costing $15,600 per year. Divide that by $200,000, that's close to a 7.8% yield on money. What I would argue is I don't have at my disposal investments that are going to generate a 7.8% yield in a guaranteed manner. Now, we can put money in the stock market and make 20% if the market does well. Or we can put it into a dividend-producing real estate investment that has a 10% dividend. But that dividend could drop and market dynamics could shake that thing to the core. So when I look at a mortgage, I say, how can we deploy $200,000 and generate a 7.8% yield? It's staring right in your face. Pay off your mortgage. So what I'd advise all retirees, now, if you're 30 years old and you want to play this game and subject yourself to lots of leverage and stress, be my guest. If you're in the accumulation phase of life, just remember, leverage works in 2 different directions. I think a lot of the 30-year-olds of the world forgot about what happened to leverage back in 2008. It has a compoundingly positive effect when asset prices are going up, but when asset prices are going down and you're over leveraged, that's called bankruptcy. So if you're in or nearing retirement, I would advise you to look at all of your debts, whether it's a zero interest car loan, a mortgage, student loans. Look at all of your debts from a yield perspective. And I think what it will do for you is it'll put your money into perspective in that, how can I take all of the assets I have and generate the maximum amount of inflow and the least amount of outflow so I have an abundant amount of income that I can spend and create experiences with my family. One last nugget. Another way to look at the mortgage conundrum. Had you owned this home outright, meaning you had no mortgage on it, would you ever dare think about walking into a bank, taking a second mortgage out on the house in the name of buying stocks and bonds and mutual funds? And the answer to that is almost always unequivocally, no way. I'm not going to take a mortgage out on my house to buy financial instruments. Well, why own financial instruments while you have a mortgage? You're doing the same exact thing, it's just in reverse. I hope the video gave you some food for thought and maybe has you look at your debt in just a slightly different manner.